Yo, what's good, Chiefs Kingdom? Welcome back to another great episode of the McGruder Files presented by Kingdom Cast, where we keep it real about Kansas City Chiefs football, no filter, no fluff, just straight talk here from my couch here in Lawrence, Kansas. I'm your host, Philip P. Mac McGruder, and if you're new here, we dive in deep into the Chiefs world with wins, losses, drama, offseason moves, all of it. So today is a very big one for me today, y'all. I mean, we got a reunion vibe going on here, man. Joining me in his virtual war room is none other than my former co-host, the one that only Thizz, aka you, not the word, the letter. My God, former co-host with me over at Chiefs Focus for the War Room with PMAC, bro. Feels like forever when we were breaking down games, taking, roasting bad takes, talking about news and trying to keep that energy like we did over there, man. So Thizz, man, welcome back, brother. How you been doing, man, these days?
Man, I've been good. Been busy at work and everything, but I've been good. Just it feels good to be back. It feels natural, feels real. So you know how we do. We just gonna talk real stuff about what's going on. And that's what I look forward to. I always look forward to that.
Absolutely, bro, man. That's what I expected. Still got that same fire, bro. For those who don't know, man, me and Thizz, used to run the War Room with PMAC together. Shout out to my guys over there at Chiefs Focus, to none other than my guy JP, Caleb, Kyron, my other guy, Quentin. I mean, I hope you guys are good, man, doing your things and everything else like that. Brad Henson as well. If you guys don't know Brad Henson Pro, check him out on X. He got some good stuff out there, man. We are all one kingdom here. That's what I feel about us. And, man, we have some classic episodes, me predicting guys like Xavier Worthy or, Josh Simmons and, going over those takes and everything else like that, man. And we're, here we are, man. Good times, bro. And you brought that unfiltered energy and the hot takes and the real perspective of somebody who has experience as a former coach yourself, especially like middle school, high school. I think I haven't asked you before, like where you coached at, but you had that perspective and, you brought that to the table, even challenging me, even as a former player myself who's big on the game ever since I was a kid. So it was a blast. And now here we are, 2026. Mahomes trying to come back from his knee injury. Bieniemy is back calling plays. The roster shakeup still is fresh here, man. And the Chiefs are trying to climb out of that rough 2025 hole. Perfect timing for you to hop back on the mic, man. So before we jump into the meat of today's show with everything, we're going to talk about EB's impact, that receiving room, what it really needs. Along with that, especially with the run game on top of that, maybe look at a few free agency rumors talking about what we're looking at for the Chiefs, especially a big one I want to talk about, especially based off of a clip I saw on X this past week. And I thought it was a great discussion of debate to talk about. So you want anything you want to say before we move to the first segment of the night, man?
Now let's just get it. Let's get it.
All right. Well, we used to have an old segment called That's News to Me, but this is our news to me version here at Kingdom Cast. So segment one, we're going to talk about a little news here, man. So we're going to dive back with the Chiefs trying to get their path back to contention. And it began when I talked about last week of Eric Bieniemy coming back to the team. His return really means what it really means for the offense and how this team can fix the holes without breaking the bank and also going to bring some money ball aspects into it, because you already know me, man, because I always brought some aspects of money ball into like my discussions, and you got to, especially knowing how the team has done things before. If you're watching on YouTube or listening on your favorite platform, whether it's X or Facebook, smash that like button, drop a comment with your hottest take, whatever, especially subscribe to Kingdom Cast so you don't miss these. Let's see, man. So Eric Bieniemy had his press conference this past week, and by judging what Andy Reid also said, he also had his past. Let's talk about that first. Andy Reid had his conversation on Zoom, his press conference, and let me look to see what he said. Okay. I think he's energized about everything. I know some fans were enthusiastic about his press conference, especially with this upcoming season. Before we talk about EB, after we had a 6-11 record and missed the playoffs for the first time in over a decade, Andy Reid was talking like a coach, ready to fix everything from the ground up. Here's some comments that I took away that really were important for fans to listen to. We didn't do very well this past year. That hasn't been our MO. We'll fix the problems in all those phases. There will be changes, and we've seen some changes that we'll talk about with the coaches, and also there's going to be the players coming soon, and that's what he's fired up about. That's what he mentioned. And we all remember last week when we talked about EB coming back, that was one step, and now Andy Reid is publicly embracing change, saying that he wants to revamp, multiple areas of the team, not just the offense. And this isn't Andy just saying pretty words. It feels like a reset vibe. And he's talking about the structure, the vision, the accountability. And after one of the worst seasons of his tenure with the organization, you can't blame him for wanting to shake the dust off the roster and the staff. And then headline number 2 is this. What the Chiefs told Travis Kelce, and speaking of that change, the Kelce storyline is become another thing taken front and center again, especially after what Chiefs chairman and CEO Clark Hunt said, that the Chiefs have told Kelce that he's absolutely welcome to play a 14th season, but they'll let him decide on that. Because, Kelce, he was 36 years old when he played last season. He'll be 37 if he returns for his 14th season. He hasn't announced his retirement yet, but the talk is real. But Clark Hunt said that they respect his process and they will let him make the choice without pressure. And yes, that includes give him the space during the off-season, stuff and the engagement, especially with Taylor Swift and everything going forward. So what's the Chiefs' message? We want to hear you guys, and, tell me what you guys think in the comments and everything. So, I just want to ask you, though, about these before we talk about EB. What was your thoughts about Andy and everything else like that? And when I bring up that press conference and when he was talking about accountability and also his praise for Matt Nagy on top of that, and also looking at the coaching changes, especially Chris O'Shea, the new wide receiver coach, and bringing EB back. And they also have a connection working with Brad Childress, Minnesota. So what's your thoughts about that, especially Clark Hunt's comments about Travis Kelce?
Let's first start. I guess I'm gonna first start with Andy Reid.
Right.
Like, I do feel there's an energy that I hadn't seen before. Usually it's like business as usual, but now it felt like he's either more energized or he's pretending to be more energized. I can't tell you which one it is. But I do see it's a difference. It's a difference whether it's intentional or whether it's not. I don't mind about that. What I do realize is that he recognizes that there's this need for change, and that's always the first step. You got to recognize the need for change, because even in years past, with the Brad Childress situation, he would bring Brad Childress back with no doubt in his mind. And then let's rewind to 2019, when he finally had enough when he finally had enough of old boy that went to Jacksonville defense, Bob Sutton.
Yeah.
You know, he had finally had enough, and it was like time to make changes. Andy Reid is stubborn to change, but when it's time, when it's a little bit past time, he tries not to let it go overboard. And then when it's time, he tries his best to rein it in as much as possible because he's loyal to a fault. But um these changes are needed. They're a little bit late, but they're necessary. So I am in agreement with him on that. Um to me it's more of the same because he's bringing back guys he's already worked with. Sound like Dylan McCullough. He's trying to bring him back. Hopefully, it's not as a running backs coach. The reason I say that is because he's already had him as a running backs coach before. So if Dylan McCullough's coming back, I would assume he's coming back at an elevated role. Uh,
Right. Right.
but hey, it is what it is. I think the change is necessary because we've been running it back for a while now, and it's time to make it different, make it a little bit different moving forward. Also, as much as I want to be excited about, are we moving forward to EB, or is there anything else you want me to touch on?
Before we get to EB, because EB has some comments about Kelsey as well, especially in his press conference and mentioning and talking with him. How much of this offseason would pivot? Do you think hinges on this decision by Kelsey? Do you think it's a big deal, or if he walks away, does this change the offensive identity he's been building for the last 13 years?
It absolutely does. 880 yards. To my knowledge, he's still the leading receiver on the team. And
Right.
he's a tight end. He's not a receiver. So I'm not going to say it's a problem necessarily, but he's 30. What is he? 33?
36.
My God. He's older than I remember.
He'll be 37. He'll be 37 this October.
Bro, 37, still trying to play this game. That's a lot. And he's for a guy at 36 to get 800 plus yards is amazing. So he still has plenty in the tank. And if he wants to play, he should absolutely play. But here's the thing. You got to get a guy that's better than 800. Like, if I don't expect Travis Kelce to give me 800 yards this year. Like,
right.
Gravity hits us all. Like, the Grim Reaper's coming for us all. And I ain't talking about like the bad Grim Reaper. I'm just talking about like retirement. I'm sorry, my son's over here. But
it's all good.
Retirement's knocking at his door, whether he wants to admit it or not. Like he knows it's coming. And so if he feels physically ready, bring him back. Absolutely. And you should bring him back at a number that makes sense. You can bring him back for that. But if you bringing him back with the hopes that he is the guy you had last year, trying to bring him back, hoping he makes 700, 800 yards, that's a misstep in my opinion. Bring him back as a guy who you looking for maybe 500 yards from him. If he exceeds that, great. But if he doesn't, he is still Travis Kelce, and we wanted to see what we can do on the last ride with him. That's okay to me. But for the past 5-6 years, it's been Travis Kelce as number one receiver. And I've thought for the first 3 years it was fine. But these last few years, I've thought it was wrong. I always thought we need to go out and get a number one wide receiver. Did I say 5 years? Has it been that long? Since Tyreek left. Yeah, it's been
about 20. So 22.
2021 is when we got beat by
4 seasons.
So 4 seasons. So those 4 seasons was years where we was talking about Travis Kelce is our number one receiver. And that's messed up. That's kind of messed up. So and he was 30 plus then. So it's time to either. That's why I'm happy about a guy like Chad O'Shea, because he is bringing new life into the wide receiver room, and with a guy like Worthy and a guy like um, what's our guy's name? SMU.
Uh,
Worthy and
Rice, yeah, Rasheed
Rice,
Rice.
and then you're gonna have new blood coming in the room because our wide receiver room is kind of tapped. Uh, Chad O'Shea brings life into this organization, and he was with the Chiefs back in 2003.
Yeah,
He was with the Chiefs. Was it 3? I don't remember.
probably after that because I think he still probably might.
He was like
Well, yeah, probably.
he was a special teams assistant, I think.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I have to look it up.
and that was back when Dick Vermeil was coaching. So,
Mhm.
and I ain't gonna sit here and lie, those receivers were good. That was back when we had Derek Alexander, Johnny Morton, and all those guys. Uh,
Mhm.
so I do expect something to happen because you know new blood brings a new fire. So I'm looking forward to that.
Absolutely. So anyway, as you know, Thizz, you saw the press conference, EB coming back as or coming home to Kansas City, talking about his growth from his time with the Bears and with the Commanders since he left, and talking about firing up the office again. And you already know about what he did with DeAndre Swift and Monangai, the rookie from the Bears last season. What was your thoughts about your first take on this reunion with EB?
All right, let me preface this by saying this: I hated it at first. I
Right,
hated it. I because I told you this at the beginning, personal text, me and you.
right,
Uh,
right.
I told you at like March of last year, I was like, this is just more of the same. It feels like just more of the same. We doing the same things over and over and expecting different results. And let's not forget, we went to the Super Bowl last year. We didn't win anything.
Mhm.
We got murked in the Super Bowl. So I expect with this new Eric Bieniemy, he's been to UCLA. He's been cross country, Washington D.C., LA, and then back to Chicago. So 3 years of seeing different things. So I'm seeing that he's at least got some experience there, and he's also just got done coaching in a position that we severely lacked in last year. So I expect
Mhm.
something there. I expect some brand new life there. But overall, I'm not happy about it. I wanted somebody outside the tree, but we know Andy is going to do us familiar, so that was kind of a dream scenario for me. But it is what it is. So all things considered, it's a decent move. It's not the move I would want them to make, but it's a decent move, all things considered.
I get that, man. But I really think that energy is key here, especially as Evie said, accountability. That was the word when he said that. I said, or when he said EB is EB, I was pleased to hear that because it was like that one little missing piece. And remember, I went to camp that one year and I told you EB and Noah Gray in that situation where Noah stopped running in his route and
Yeah.
Bolton picked him off and Mahomes was like, "Hey man, hey, why do you stop?" And he slammed his clipboard down. He's like, "You better pick this shit up. You better pick this." It's like that one little key piece was missing. And we've had these discussion in when we was over there at Chiefs Focus talking about the same situation and everything else like that. But then when you look back from that moment to where we are now, it makes you say, you know, we needed that because when you saw the execution from this offense this past year, or especially like for example, you saw the play against Denver where we would have Rasheed Rice in the backfield as a running back and put Kareem line up as a wide receiver. Like it's that type of stuff that is not creativity. It doesn't do anything. So I think he's not just calling plays, he's sequencing, he's getting creative. after the predictability from 2025. This could, make us explosive again. And
let me
as you
let me
mentioned, go ahead.
you mind if I throw this in there?
Go ahead.
It's way better than what we came from. Like sometimes you gotta look at things. Some personally, I ain't gonna say you. Personally, I have to look at things in its perspective. And that's another reason why I'm cool with the move, because perspective says Nagy was not great at all in any level. I just felt like the whole offense just needed like old boy on Home Alone. It needed the electricity. It needed to be electrocuted. And
Right.
it just felt like we were lacked symmetry. There was no symmetry in it. And I don't know why it felt that way. It felt like the office was constipated and then was no
Yeah.
flow in it. And so I'm hoping with this it'll be some more flow to it. So we'll see that how that is. And so when I look at it from that perspective, I realize, oh yeah, this is a better situation, I would think. And like I said, Andy Reid being energized and happy about this move, I think that it'll change some stuff.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that, man. And like you mentioned about McLeod coming back too, man. I mean, he was with us in 2018, to 2020 with EB as the offensive coordinator at the time. And, he coached in college since he left, at Indiana, and then went to Notre Dame, where he coached those two prospects who are the top 5 running backs. Actually, one of them is the number 1, and then the other one could be like number 2 or even within that top 5 still, Jeremiah Love and Jardarian Price. And he also coached Las Vegas's
Yeah.
backfield last year and Ashton Genty.
Yeah.
So like so what's your thoughts about this? Like when him coming back and everything else like that, what do you think this means for the Chiefs in terms of like the running back position? Do we bring back, Kareem? Do we go after one of those 2 guys? Do we do both, or what do you think?
I'm cool with. I don't want Kareem back. I want to bring back the fullback position. We're gonna be completely honest. I want the fullback position back.
Yeah.
Bring it back. Now you're gonna have to find a new fullback. You're gonna have to figure that out because oh boy went to the Eagles. Traitor. What's his name? The Gator Man, the crocodile hunter. Carson Steele.
Carson Steele. He's going to the Eagles, yeah.
Yeah, he's with the Eagles. He signed with them, but so you're gonna have to find a new fullback. But I do believe that we need to bring the fullback back. And I'm not saying Kareem is fine, but just know that it might not work to the clip that it did at one point. Just throwing it out there because defenses get hip to the idea. Defenses get hip real quick. Like the tush push wasn't as effective as it first was anymore. So I'm just expecting that for them to figure out a way to stop Kareem. So you need to be more what's the word I'm looking for? Diverse in
Right.
your short distance situations. But for the cap purposes, I'm here for it. For cap purposes, absolutely, because we gonna have to work on that cap for sure. So that's me.
Yeah. I feel you there. And speaking of Home Alone, before we move to the next segment, send a rest in peace shout out to none other than Catherine O'Hara, who played the mom from Home Alone, my favorite all-time Christmas movie. I saw that work and I was shocked, man. And to her family and friends, also the Macaulay Culkin out there, we have you guys in our thoughts and our prayers and everything as you guys go through this time, because I know what that's been like. Lost 3 important people over the last 2 months. Previously, but sometimes you got to take time to yourself and get yourself together. But we move forward, and we got to talk about this, man, because I feel like this is very important too, man. So this is a hot topic, and it's the Chiefs quarterback situation as we are heading into 2026. And if you guys haven't seen it, there's a post from the Locked On Chiefs podcast. If you haven't checked those guys out, please check their stuff. They're really good content as well. They had Matt Derrick, part of Chiefs Digest on there, and he brought this situation up. And I thought, you know what, it was in the back of my head too to think about, especially since Mahomes got hurt. Ever since Mahomes got hurt against the Chargers, and we're gonna have to talk about it. They might have a quarterback problem, especially if Mahomes isn't ready on by week 1. They posted it on their X account on Locked On Chiefs podcast, and it's probably got the kingdom buzzing. Some people might agree or might not agree because, you know, everybody thinks Pat is superhuman or not human at all. His knee recovery is key, especially from that ACL, LCL tear. You got Ola Duncan, you have Minshew, who, you know, had their situation. Minshew is reported he didn't have an ACL tear, but Ola Duncan looked bad out there. That's why they brought in Bouchel for that last game. And I was going to ask you, would you consider this as a big, important thing that we need to take care of during the offseason, Thizz?
Look, man, absolutely, that's something you need to take care of. Once Chad Henne bounced out, it was a necessity because at least one thing, and that's one of the things that you have. That's one of the things Andy's good at. He brings in guys that are familiar with the system. So throwing it back to 2018, and I talked to you and Chuck about this, but throwing it back then, we had, and the dude's name escapes me again, but we had the third string quarterback who never really saw the field, but he saw the field because Pat Mahomes got us through the Broncos quick, fast, and in a hurry. And then he messed up, and Pat Mahomes had to go back out there again. Mahomes had
Tyler Bray.
Tyler Bray. Thank you. But he was with us for like 4 years. And one thing we know about Andy is he needs to be comfortable with the guy that's in charge of the offense. So personally, you and myself were talking about this.
Right.
We need to draft one. I want to say we talked about it last year. I feel like we do need to go ahead and draft a guy. He don't have to be 3rd round, 4th round. He could be 5th to 6th round. He can even be 7th round, as long as he got the arm strength and he got the know-how up here. Personally, I just think you need to. Mahomes has alleviated a lot of problems in your offense for years. There's things you don't have to think of because Pat's there and he's going to take care of it for you. So why not go ahead and start mentoring, having him mentor the next guy, have him help you develop the next guy. Yeah. Get your Kevin Cobb. And the reason I say Kevin Cobb is because, yeah, Kevin Cobb wasn't great. He was a backup. But guess what Andy Reid was able to do? He was able to get him in there because he had been under the system for a little bit and made him look really decent out there with his play calling. And then not only that, but he was able to flip him to Arizona and was able to bring back significant draft picks from that. Therefore, you should be looking at the same situation, not necessarily saying you're going to do it, but definitely saying that, hey, this is a real possibility. So that's my concept. I mean, I'm cool with bringing in a journeyman. That's fine, but you need to get a guy that's consistently available for you year in and year out, i.e. Chad Henne.
Right. I'm with you with that, man. I mean, a Chad Henne, or like, for example, there was Jeff Garcia who played with the Eagles before. I think he had a career resurgence.
Yes.
And he helped the Eagles win the division, like moments like that. Or Nick Foles, another great example. So, I mean,
Nick Foles, Michael Vick. Like Michael Vick he got a 3-year contract. 3-year, $100 million contract with Philly. So, like, it's something Andy can do. I just want him to do it. I know he wants to put everything into Mahomes right now, but Mahomes is now a veteran. So
Yeah.
put that time and energy towards a young guy, he might be able to take over when Mahomes goes, like if he stays with the team long enough or whatever, or you may be able to flip him later. That it's up to it's however it works out, but he'll know the system.
Right. Here's the thing, though, man. You already know that the Chiefs are not going to waste draft capital on a rookie quarterback, and
Yeah, no.
the focus is on D line. Wide receiver, right tackle, the running back position. We're not going to burn the pick here, though. But speaking of um, those guys in college, I mean, you got the Senior Bowl right now. You also had the Shrine Bowl that just played, and you have players like the Garrett. Nussmeyers of the world,
Yes.
Cade Klubniks,
Yeah.
the Taylon Greens from Arkansas, big arm, he's mobile. Shrine Ball had Klubnik, who was a winner at Clemson. This past season he didn't do too good. There's Haynes King from Georgia Tech. Yes, I'm gonna throw this name out here. Don't mean it's gonna happen.
Of
I don't
course
even
you are.
care.
Of
Okay,
course
yes,
you
Jalen Daniels. Damn it,
are. Of course
local
you are.
kid here, dual threat quarterback. But again, no high draft capital. I mean, who knows? They might look at a late round flyer if they want to consider it.
Listen,
So
man, I think
go
there's
ahead.
gonna be I think there's talent in the UDFA market. It's not ideal that you go grab a quarterback out of there, but either way you flip it, if you're gonna have this guy on a rookie contract and you could work with him and get yourself a guy that can make sure that he's being trained and knows the playbook, then what's the problem? He should be able to.
Right.
He could do what Tyler Bray did. Come on now, I think he could. I feel like you can do better than what Tyler Bray brought you. So I don't mind being in that market at all.
Hey, I'm there with you. And just in case if we do get into the market, then you got to add a veteran. You got to have a backup, somebody to compete
Yes.
with. So, with all that being said, now you got EB back in the fold here, and you got the scheme, which is all about the rhythm and the protection. You can't risk a slow start in a rebuild year. So, here's some veteran options, right? Let's talk about bringing back Gardner Minshew, who is a veteran, familiar with the system from last year. Even though he got hurt, uh, there's also Malik Willis, and you saw what he did at Green Bay. But I think now that coach for the defensive coordinators from Green Bay is now the head coach from Miami, there's a good
Yeah.
chance he might go there. But
Yeah.
Minshew's, a solid bridge, fun, efficient, cheap, 1 year cheap deal, probably around $5 million. If Mahomes isn't ready week one, he's our guy. Or how about this name? Jameis Winston. He's a gunslinger, 30 touchdowns in his prime, but he had his moments. Arm talent for days. I already see that look on your face. Can sign him short term. He has that swagger. Listen, think about the locker room speeches.
I don't care about those, bro.
Oh man, really?
His locker room speeches are better than his gameplay. It really is. He blamed all his interceptions on LASIK surgery because he didn't have LASIK because he couldn't see, and he's still throwing them. I have a problem with that. And by the by, he didn't get to start much for the Giants, but he threw an interception every game he was in, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, he threw an interception every single game he was in. I could be wrong. Fact check me. But I don't.
You don't think he could be our Chad Henne?
No,
Put
no.
Jameis
And
really?
maybe that's a personal thing. And I can live with the idea that might be personal, but I've never, when I tell you never, I've never saw the appeal with Jameis Winston. Just never.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, man. So bringing back Minshew, then it appears.
Listen, if he joins the team, I'm not gonna be upset. Well, I will, but I'll have to get over it because he's part of the team now. Um, uh,
No Russell Wilson.
No.
Okay, good. No.
I don't think he has the arm anymore. I just don't think he has the arm anymore. It's over for him. I really believe that. Jameis might have an arm, but he don't have the accuracy whatsoever. I don't know. I don't have the answer. That's why I'm not really shooting it down, but I'm not really a huge fan of the idea. But if it happens, I'm not going to be a wet blanket.
I get you there, man. Oh man. So now they're moving on to the final segment of the show. I know it's such a short episode, but hey, man, just getting all the most important things I wanted to talk about out of the way. And as we close out this segment right here, or start the segment, me and you always used to do a little mock drafts, especially during the off season. I always did these predictions where it was 2024 when I predicted we was going to get Xavier Worthy. We got Xavier Worthy. I also predicted that we were also going to get 1 year. It shocked me. It was a mock draft. 1 year I predicted we was going to get Deneric Prince. We got him as an undrafted rookie, free agent, but he didn't pan out to be that guy. Then last season, which was before I came over here to Kingdom Cast on War Room, I predicted Josh Simmons. I kept saying Josh Simmons or nothing.
Yep, you did.
Mahomes needs that left tackle. Not just that, he has two of them, or three, you may say, especially one who's a swing tackle and Jalen Moore. And then you also got Issei Pole. And I'm happy with that right now. But anyway, we got this mock 2.0 last week. I did one where I was able to get Peter Woods and some others.
I saw last week's mock draft, which was I thought it was pretty good. I like the positions that you brought in. I didn't know a whole lot about a couple of players, but I like the positions that you brought in.
Yeah, thank you, good sir. Yeah, it's just I know some of us. Jeremiah Love is there at number 9. I mean, no sweat, right? Like if you gamble and you feel good about a prop that you feel on your gut that is going to hit, no sweat. But we really need to focus on getting that pass rush. And I'm going to say this. You know how I talked to you about George Karlaftis.
Yep.
He is a designated pass rusher number 2, but he is not a number 1.
No, he's not.
And the Chiefs need to get that. And a few others, a 3-technique guy who can play next to Chris Jones and also add another nose tackle.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have to make some decisions about Mike Dana, especially Drew Tranquil and those guys. So we are going to go through these picks here round by round here. And this one's from PFF again. This one was graded as an A- overall, landing in the top 41% of all Chiefs mocks they've run. Not bad for a team sitting at number 9 and with needs, everywhere after this past season, which was horrendous. So let's do the full recap of my mock draft here. With the first overall pick, number 9, we get Jordan Tyson, wide receiver out of Arizona State. This guy's a stud. He's 6'2", 200 pounds. They rank him as 7th overall on their big board. They gave me an A+ for this pick. At 6'2", he is explosive off the line of scrimmage. Man beater. Had about like an 89.0 grade against man coverage this past season. Has reliable cuts, reliable hands. Very good sudden cuts out of his routes. He could be wide receiver 1 that you were talking about, and we've been missing since the Tyreek Hill days in a way. Pairing him with Mahomes, lights out. Immediate impact as a boundary X receiver who wins contested catches and yards after the catch. Especially something that we haven't had since we had Sammy Watkins. And now that speaks to now having EB back into the fold. Huge swing for the offense here. What you think about this pick right here, Jordan Tyson?
I like the Jordan Tyson pick. He's a big dude. And I think we've been lacking size, and we've been Kelsey been the size. So if you get a wide receiver who's this big and this fast, I like his speed. I love the speed on this big dude. Um, he can line up at all three receiver spots, X, Y, and Z. He can do the 50-50 balls. He can catch those. And that's, I think, was another thing we're missing. I don't like his run blocking though. I mean, obviously that's something you could work on, obviously. Um, and the injuries he had in college were a concern for me. He had a lot of
Sorry.
injuries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
2022, you good?
Yeah, my cousin was
2022,
calling me.
2022, he had an injury. 2020, a significant injury. 2023, knee injury. 2024, collarbone. And you can't predict injury. You just can't. But he had one every year since he's been in college. And so that worries me a little bit. But other than that, man, I love the size and I love the fact that he can win the 50-50 ball.
Yeah, I'm with you there, man. And that's one of the reasons why I made him as that pick, because the Chiefs need a man beater.
Yes.
We was missing that last season. I mean, Rasheed did his thing last season before he got hurt last year, and maybe him trying to get his footing again, trying to get back to being that guy, especially all the stuff he dealt with before he came back, 6-game suspension and everything else like that. This is one of the reasons why I make this pick here. So
Yeah.
then we move. Yeah. So then we move on to pick number 40. And of course, I know you guys will be happy about this one, but I would love this pick as well, too. He's number 47 on the big board. Zion Young, edge defender from Mizzou. He's long, athletic, 6'5" rusher with serious upside. You're seeing what he's doing at the Senior Bowl, bull rushing the hell out of offensive tackles, man, especially guys bigger than him. He led the Tigers in pressures last season. His length disrupts passing lanes like crazy, like you're seeing on display at the Senior Bowl. Can't wait to see him in the game. Spags loves versatile edge guys. This guy's a rotational piece day one who could grow into the starter opposite whoever we have, and he's going to be great value here at number 40 if he's still there.
I don't think he'll be there, but here's one of my worries about him. No, let's go with the pros. He's tough. He comes from football pedigree, so that's one of the things I love about that. He's a team captain, so he has the leadership factor, and he has relentless effort. And if you got guys, you already got Karlaftis, and then you get this guy on top of it. I think that two of those guys could actually make both of them better. Two relentless guys plus a Chris Jones plus what's his face coming off of injury, defensive tackle that we got last year in the draft. But with that defensive line, I do.
Oh, Norman Lott, yeah,
with Omar Norman Lott, I do think it's good to have two guys with relentless pursuit on your roster. Now, my issue, he's gonna have to work on his first step. It's kind of slow in my opinion. The pad level, obviously coming out of college, that's normally a big issue for a lot of edge rushers. I hope they wouldn't try to put him in a coverage position, but having him in coverage is going to be a liability too. So, I hope they wouldn't do that. Please understand. I hope Spags wouldn't do something like that. But
none would surprise me.
My mind goes back to Justin Houston being in coverage in one of the playoff games, and I was like, why would you do that?
Against Antonio Brown, Bob Sutton.
Yes. So that's where my mind went. But other than that, he could be a game wrecker, but at worst, he's a rotational pass rushing piece, and I think that's good value at the round 2 position, pick 40.
Yeah. So then we got a blockbuster right here. We decide to trade Trent McDuffie to the Rams. We send McDuffie out, bring back the Rams number 61 pick in the second round, and a 2027 third-round pick, similar to when we traded Marcus Peters a few years ago.
Yep.
And look, trading a multi-time All-Pro corner hurts. He's been my guy.
Yep.
McDuffie's been elite, but the cap crunch and the fifth-year option loom over $13 million, and this is kind of a bold move Veach might consider to reload. We regain ammo without losing a core. Risky, yes, but it fuels the rest of this draft. So with that extra 60 pick with the number 61 overall pick, I get one of McLeod's guys if McLeod is official coming soon. Jordarian Price, running back from Notre Dame. This is considered an A- picks. He's shifty, he's explosive back. I think a bigger, more physical change of pace guy who could catch, run between the tackles, break ankles, and especially in kickoff return after the struggles on the ground last season. In 2024, for us, we had those struggles in the backfield, but Green was like the only bright hope for real. And then also we saw some flashes from Brashard Smith, who I felt like they should have utilized more. But I'm looking forward to how EB works with him this coming year. This is a home run hit for us right here, and he and whoever's in the backfield could become a nightmare duo. Shoot, him and Brashard Smith, especially sharing kickoff return duties.
Yeah. Here's my thing about this. I see you trade away Trent McDuffie, and I know this is only through round 4. I get it. You traded away Trent McDuffie, and you didn't get no cornerback in return. But I'm assuming you signing. I'm assuming with this trade, you're keeping Watson on the roster.
Yes, I would say I would keep Watson on the roster at least for 1 year, give him like at least a 2-year deal, because he's really proven himself over the last few years. Like he hasn't allowed a touchdown since allowing that touchdown against Devontae Smith in the Super Bowl. I think he really wanted to prove himself, and he did. And that's one of the reasons why. Also, Bud Clark from TCU could still be on the board. And I don't know.
Ain't no Williams, ain't he cornerback?
Well, this is basically just my 2.0, basically to round 4.
I got you. I got you. I was just thinking. But no, I think it's a little bit early to be taking a running back, personally. But Jadarian Price, I would do it. Like, I don't want to spend him I don't want to spend the first round pick on him. I'm sorry. We're picking at 9.
Heck no.
The last we didn't even pick Pat Mahomes at 9. So getting a running back at 9 is just, I can't do it. Sorry, just can't do it. This makes more sense. Jadarian Price, I love the size, I love the speed, I love the shiftiness. I feel like, to me, he feels like a Jamal Charles-esque pick. His style, and he's great on getting to the edge, and can change the game with his explosiveness. The issue I have is he wasn't really a full-time starter because, oh boy, that everybody wants to draft, he was there, so he wasn't a full-time starter. And the durability of him worries me. But other than that, I think it's a good pick. And if you could find a way with him and Brashard, boy, that could be a 1-2 punch out of this world. It really could be. So I like the pick.
Yeah. So then in the third round with the number 74th overall pick, I get Blake Miller, offensive tackle from Clemson, B+ grade here. He's a grizzled vet, started tons of games at right tackle, thinking we cut Juwan Taylor, especially using that $20 million in return to take care of other guys to try to bring him back, especially, for example, Watson. This guy is super durable. He's great in pass protection. There's also some other guys like the kid from Arizona State who's making noise at the Senior Bowl. With the line questions, this is a smart depth upside pick, could compete early or swing to the other side. But I like this pick right here.
I like Blake Miller. Here's my thing. I couldn't remember if he was left or right side, but obviously he was right. And he played. He's sturdy. He's sturdy. He played a lot of games for Clemson, and I don't worry necessarily about him being able to compete at the NFL level.
Right.
Uh, um, what I will say is, given I don't think he's gonna last this long. Personally, I just don't think he's gonna last this long. I like now it's fine, but closer to the draft, I remember you picked one of the dudes from K State. I think it was either K State or TCU, a guard, and I can't remember who it was. But that dude went in the first round that year. He went in the first or second round that year. I can't remember who it was. Ain't no point of you looking. But I was like, dude,
Right.
he
Right.
went he went super early. And I feel like Blake Miller won't last that long just because he has the strength and
Right.
the explosiveness to make it be a starter in this league.
Yeah.
Maybe not initially, but eventually. So I
Yeah.
think he could be a second round pick.
I agree. I have a second to third round grade on him. So, and then to finish off this mock 2.0, I decided to beef up the defensive line. Now, early on, let's say there's guys like Caleb Banks from Florida who's making noise with his
I like
size, bro.
I like Caleb Banks a lot.
Yeah, I mean, there's also Lee Hunter from Texas Tech. I mean, there's Daryl Jackson from Florida State. Big guys that we need to have next to Chris, so Chris don't have to take on those double teams and triple teams. So I add that guy in Tim Keenan, the third defensive tackle from Alabama, 6'2", 320 pounds, nose tackle. He's not flashy, but 320-pound space eater. He clogs, running lanes. He, holds up at the point at the line of scrimmage, and he gives up that classic Bama trench warrior. Perfect for early downs and developing, behind the vets and stuff like that. So, think about this pickup.
I like Tim Keenan, and I like the idea that you're getting him, and you don't have to keep bringing. Sorry, I'm not trying to shoot no shots at him, but oh boy, that we keep bringing back from Florida State. Uh,
Naughty,
yes, Derek Notty.
Derek Naughty.
This would be a guy that you could end up not having to worry about bringing him back all the time. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
think he could be a solid uh, run stuffing defensive interior lineman.
right.
So, especially if you give him time, like his whole rookie contract, I think he'd be a starter. Not. I'm sorry, that's a little bit overshot. I do think he would be a rotational piece, especially in short yardage situations.
Right.
So I like that pick, especially in round 4. He's not necessarily top 100 per se, but he's like right outside the top 100. I can dig that.
Yeah, yeah. So the final tally: an offensive weapon enticing to stretch the field, a young edge in Young, a dynamic running back in Price, line helping Miller, and the interior beef in Keenan the third. And we traded McDuffie for future picks, but reloaded aggressively. PFF loves it. A minus overall of top 41% rank. I get why. This draft attacks wide receiver running back in the trenches while adding pass rush juice, and it's bold and it's Chiefsy. Win now and keep an eye on the prize later on. So tell me what y'all guys think at the end of this. And, hit me up on my Twitter and everything, and we'll talk about it. But before we get out of here, we're going to have to get a word from our sponsors. That brings us to the end of the McGruder Files. This episode was brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. You guys know I've been looking at places to, play, those pick'ems and everything else like that. Got NBA games still going on tonight. If you want to make those picks, especially tomorrow, especially with the KU game, there's also the Stevenson fight tomorrow. Underdog Fantasy. You guys want to look into that? Go to that. They're revolutionizing daily fantasy sports with super easy app, real money prizes for picking high or lower props on your favorite player, whoever it is, whether it's in the NFL, especially with the Super Bowl coming up. You could bet and wait till the big game comes on. If you haven't signed up yet, time is now. Right now, use the promo code KingdomCast. As you see at the bottom of the screen here, that's KINGDOMKAST. You will get a special bonus, a really good bonus. Sign up and get $75 in bonus bets when you play just $5. That's right, $75 in bonus cash just for getting in the game with $5. Whether you're looking at NBA, NHL, or, as I mentioned, getting ready for the big game that's coming up in a few days. Not this coming Sunday, but the next after that. Underdog Fantasy makes it fun and fast. So go to Underdog Fantasy, use the code KingdomCast, sign up, play $5, and get that $75 instantly. Again, that's KingdomCast on Underdog Fantasy. Thank you to our sponsor. Thank you to my guys over there at KingdomCast. I want to say thank you, Thizz, for coming on, man. We got to do this again, man.
Of course. Anytime.
Yeah. All right, everybody. I want to say thank you, and you guys stay safe out there, especially with the cold. You guys got any off-season thoughts? Just hit me up. I'm at a Chiefs fan for life. Life with a Y, not an I, on X. Also, Thizz, tell them where they can find you, man, and what you got going on.
I'm on X as at IMUINKC on X. And so, man, I just been been working. I do have another podcast with a partner of mine. We'll be doing that tomorrow. But, I appreciate everybody listening. Look, man, I've been kind of backing off on episodes recently, but if I'm gonna get back in, I'm gonna get back in it with you. So we keep in touch, and we always keep in touch. So just hit me up anytime you need me to be on.
Heck yeah. All right, man. All right, Chiefs Kingdom, that is it. Thank you for coming on tonight's show. Also, check out the other shows on Kingdom Cast. I think Country and Robert Rimpson should be having their thing tomorrow, especially with the Royal Rumble coming on tomorrow at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time on ESPN or the ESPN app. Well, the ESPN app, basically. Check it out there, especially you guys have subscriptions. They'll talk about some of those things going on there, especially how that leads into, the WrestleMania coming up, because, the Royal Rumble winner gets the opportunity to decide to face the WWE champion or the World Heavyweight champion. Also, check out the Tell the Truth podcast featuring D-Mac, CJ, and our guy DG. And also check out the Retro podcast with DG, Trey, and also check out Chuck and Country do their thing, especially the day before my show, especially on Thursdays. And other than that, shout out to everybody. We own this Chiefs Kingdom stuff every off season, especially with this upcoming off season. Let's reload. Let's get back to the promised land. Let's get back to doing what we did. And thank you, Patriots, for doing God's work for us this last Sunday. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
But sorry, you guys. I'm going with the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. So
it's all good to me.
Yeah. So anyway, peace out, Chiefs Kingdom. Go Chiefs.
Deuces.
Deuces.